Good evening and welcome to Spanish Fork High School, where tonight it is homecoming night. And the Spanish Fork Dons look to rebound against the visiting Wasatch Wasps in their second game of Region 8 play. And if you're the Spanish Fork Dons early on, this might be their first must-win game of region play. Great to be with everybody. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, last week here we had Spanish Fork and Provo, and not the best performance we've seen from the Dons.
Yeah, the Dons had multiple turnovers last week, which resulted in Provo just steamrolling Spanish Fork, for lack of a better term, and also Provo was able to establish quite the run game and was a little more physical than the Dons last week.
Now you kind of change things and you move to this week. You have a team in Wasatch that's coming in that's really known to be more of a physical team. The Wasps this year, though, are kind of looking a little bit different in the sense where they're kind of spreading the field out a little bit more, still with that good running game, but they're doing it at a little bit different look.
Yeah, they are, and they're coming in with a 2-2 record. They've been fairly competitive this season, and it should be an exciting matchup, but look for Spanish Fork to try and throw the ball and Wasatch try and control the clock and run it.
An early start to Region 8 play. The first RPI rankings come out Monday morning, and a big early test here for the Spanish Fork Dons. The coin toss going on right there, and maybe one of the big storylines maybe entering this week was, would it be number 10, Caden Holt, or number 18, Zach Dart at quarterback? We'll wait and see to find out the final word, but we might see both of them tonight.
Yeah, we saw both of them last week. Both of them looked good at moments and both struggled, so that's all part of it. But they played a well-coached Provo team that probably just has a little more experience than the Dons. The Dons are playing multiple sophomores and a freshman or two along the way.
The big game in Region 8 tonight is up the road in Springville. Provo and Springville might be the Region 8 championship game in Week 2. Salem Hills will have something to say about that one as well. But really, when you take a look at this one here, as once the coin toss is, Wasatch wins the toss, they have elected to defer. So Spanish Fork will have the option to take the football, and I think the Dons will take the football, at least by the look here. We'll wait for our official to give the sign right here, and Spanish Fork will receive to start the ball game. Let's take a look at our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game tonight. Let's check in with Chris Hurst.
Yeah, so the first key we have is the Spanish Fork really has to do a better job of stopping the run attack, and the Wasps are going to try and run it tonight. They're going to have to improve their passing completion rate. They've had a lot of passes that have either been intercepted or incomplete. I think the key is maybe getting some shorter passes, getting some rhythm there. And then also they cannot turn the ball over 6 times this week and expect to win. So that's something the Dons are going to have to clean up if they want to beat this Wasatch Wasps team.
It'll be interesting to see. We're just about set and ready to go. Spanish Fork, we want to welcome those watching on YouTube, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. If you know people that can't make it out here to the high school tonight, feel free to send them the link to catch this game live here on Spanish Fork 17. Great to be with everybody. About halfway through our high school football regular season. The Dons tonight in the black tops and gray pants. Wasatch in the white tops and black pants. And we're set and ready to go for high school football on a Friday night, Chris.
Yeah, and let's see if the Dons can come out and establish a good drive here to open this game up.
McKay Perry, the sophomore defensive back deep to receive the kick right here.
And both teams coming into this one 2-2, looking for that third win. This is Wasatch's first region game of the season, and Spanish is 0-1.
Junior kicker Tyler Cook will kick it away here for Wasatch. We're going to be underway just about 7 o'clock here, which is right on time when we were supposed to get started. We're set and ready to go for high school football homecoming night, and we're set and ready to go here early on. McKay Perry back deep, standing at his own 4-yard line. And we're set and ready to play football here on Spanish Fork 17, as the kick will go over towards the sideline, and McKay Perry comes up to get it across the 10, 15, 20, and he'll get across the 25-yard line before he's brought down. And now we'll see the Spanish Fork Dons offense coming out right here, and it appears to be, at least from the early look at it, it will be the sophomore Zach Dart at starting quarterback.
This will be Zach's first start for the Dons. game number 5. He's had experience last season and this season as well, so it's not like he hasn't played before.
6'2", 180-pound sophomore, ready to go here on 1st and 10. He's in the backfield, joined by Tayson Reed, and they'll kind of do the little pitch on the outside there. That was out to Davidson. He's going to lose a couple, and the ball, Wasatch is saying the ball came loose, but they're going to say Davidson was down. Immediately getting there was Tyler Carl, a linebacker, and that's the way the ball game starts for Spanish Fork.
And just really great disciplined defense by the Wasatches. They weren't fooled by any of the misdirection there, and everybody stayed in their gaps, and Carl was able to come up with the tackle.
They'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for Spanish Fork. Dart again in the pistol with Reed in the backfield. And here's the give straight up the middle. Tayson Reed on the carry. He'll get maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe an additional half yard, but Spanish Fork nonetheless will find themselves in 3rd and long to start the ball game.
Yeah, and Tyler Carl comes up for his 2nd tackle of the game as he's able to wrap him up there.
Have to keep an eye on Wasatch. Will go both ways quite a bit tonight, with guys going both on offense and on defense. 3rd down and 10 coming up right here. 3 wide receivers. Reed in the backfield. 4 wide receivers. This might be Zach Dart's first time tonight where he's going to have to drop back and throw.
Wasatch is blitzing here, Ryan.
Looking for 10. Pressure comes. Dart throws towards the sideline. That one almost intercepted. It will go incomplete there, and that will bring up 4th down. And that's one thing Wasatch loves to do, Chris, is bring those pressures on 3rd downs and really let you go one-on-one on the corners.
Yeah, they went one-on-one, and nobody was open in the time allowed. And credit Wasatch's linebackers and defensive line for putting a lot of pressure on Dart there.
Cade Olson will punt for Spanish Fork. Damian Skibby, number 11, back deep to return the punt. And Skibby will go back to about his own 32-yard line. Gets upfield across the 40, gets a couple of blocks, and he's brought down around the 45, 46-yard line. And that's where the Wasatch Wasps will start as they come out, being led right here by that great rushing attack and senior quarterback Parker Quinton, who's had an opportunity to have some time, Chris, to really get set to this offense, his real first year starting, but he got 3 starts at the end of last season when their starting quarterback, Brock Cloward, went down with an injury.
Yeah, and so that's, you can build down that confidence a little bit when you're have 3 starts, then the season has started for this season. You're right. We'll see what Wasatch does, and it looks like they're going to probably line up a lot in the pistol tonight.
Zach Thacker, the back right here, right next to Quinton, and it will be Thacker straight ahead, and Thacker will get about 3 or 4 yards on 1st down, running right into the heart of that Spanish Fork defensive front with Rupena and then Brendan Cabreros. That's not an easy group to run through, but if Wasatch, Chris, can run through that middle, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and also it's interesting to see if they continue to have a fullback. They don't on this play.
Thacker straight ahead. This time breaks the tackle, tried to get away from Dallin Pepper, but I think Pepper slowed him up at least enough to keep Thacker from getting the 1st down, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 2 coming up here for Wasatch.
And Wasatch is in an interesting spot of the field. If they don't pick this up, will they go for it on 4th?
You have to think maybe this early on with a Spanish Fork offense that struggled last week, you might see head coach Steve Coburn take a chance here. 3rd and 3 coming up here, though, for Wasatch. Quinton back to throw, looking towards the sideline. He's got Skibby on the out route. That's complete to the 39-yard line, and a 1st down for the Wasps.
Yeah, great little quick pass there, and then Jeffrey Hernandez for Spanish Fork's able to make a quick, decisive tackle, but not before Wasatch picks up that 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Wasatch at the 39-yard line. 4 wide receivers, again Thacker the back, and it will be Thacker straight up the middle. He breaks free into the secondary. Inside the 20, he's going to be brought down at about the 15. Brad Stevens in on the stop, and right there, Wasatch early on, not afraid to run it right at the heart of that Spanish Fork defense.
Yeah, and that hole was big, and Thacker just was able to get upfield quickly, pick up about 27 yards, and really Wasatch is probably going to feed the ball to Thacker a lot tonight.
The first time tonight, Wasatch into the Driggs Mortgage team red zone, and that time Parker Quinton on the keeper goes nowhere, gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job by Oldham, staying home, containing that edge, and making sure that play loses yards.
So bring up second and goal from about the 11 after the loss of 1. Thacker again in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. And that's up the middle. And Gabe Oldham getting in on the stop there of Parker Quinton.
And Spanish Fork's having great success stopping some of this option plays, quarterback reads, the straight ahead runs where Wasatch has really been burning Spanish Fork.
So it'll be third down and goal, a passing situation for Wasatch early on. Last time we saw him go to that little out route. We'll see what the Wasps run here. Their biggest worry right now might be the play clock. A lot of time between getting that play from the sideline relayed. Quinton ready to go. As Spanish Fork, it looks like might have jumped. We'll see if Wasatch drew him offsides, but it looks like the early indications is going to be, and it will be offsides against the Dons. And there it looks like they got Gabe Oldham.
Yeah, Oldham moved a little bit there. It looked like he moved to the side, but he must have moved forward as well. I'll bring up third and about 5. Third and goal from the 5.
So it changes the play call here for the Wasps. They break the huddle pretty quick. Quinton back to throw. One-on-one at the top of your screen. Looking for Skibby. And is he in? He's in. Touchdown, Wasatch. The only question was going to be if he kept the foot in. And Damian Skibby has the touchdown, and it's 6-0 Wasps.
Yeah, Quinton just throws that to the back of the end zone. And Skibby, who is, see his height there, 6 foot, comes down with it, no problem.
Coming on here, and it looked like they were going to kick the extra point, but Ammon Tuttle now will drop back to kick the point after touchdown. He went up kind of under center. I don't know if he was trying to see if they could catch the Dons off guard, but now Tuttle ready to go for the point after touchdown try. Quinton will hold. Snap good. The hold is down. The kick looks good from here, and it is through. And with 6:38 to play in the first quarter, Wasatch is on the board, 7-0. Zach Thacker carries the weight, including the big run that really sparked that drive for Wasatch.
Yeah, and every time Spanish Fork got Wasatch in a third down situation, which was a couple of times, Wasatch answered with a big play, including that touchdown pass. So getting off the field is going to be something huge for Spanish Fork. As we got 6:36 here in the first quarter, and it's been all Wasatch as Spanish Fork went 3 and out.
We'll go ahead here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible tonight.
Yeah, we got Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Driggs Mortgage Team, the car guys at Blue Diamond Auto Group, MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, and Mikhail Thompson Hunter Attorneys at Law. We'd like to thank these sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
So about set and ready to go for kickoff with 6:36 to play in the quarter. It's going to be Tyler Cook again to kick it away. Back deep will be number 5. That will be McKay Perry. He's standing back at his own 3-yard line, waiting to get the kick here from Tyler Cook. Wasatch late getting a man on the field. That's what we're sitting here waiting for. And right here, as they're set and ready to go. Here, Cook will kick it away right here. Perry will watch this one go into the end zone. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line, and we'll see Zach Dart come out, Chris, and we'll see what Spanish Fork tries to do. You had to like the idea of what they tried to do on that first drive, getting him a couple of early completions.
Well, they tried to establish the run and then were unable to. And with that, when you get in those 3rd and longs, Wasatch is going to dial up the blitz. So we'll see if they continue to play man-to-man coverage here, though. Wasatch does in certain situations.
It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball on the 20-yard line for Spanish Fork. Here's the give right up the middle. That's Tayson Reed. Takes a big shot there again from Tyler Carl, who's been flying around the football tonight defensively for Wasatch. And it's going to be a pickup of about 3 there on 1st down for Tayson Reed.
And that's the biggest positive play Spanish Fork's had thus far. So we'll see if they continue to run it here. They have a tendency to run it on 1st down. I'd like to see them maybe try some play action later in this ball game on 1st down.
2nd down and 8 coming up. It looks like they'll officially give Reed only 2 yards there on that 1st down carry. And they'll go here with 4 wide receivers for Zach Dart. Dart from the pistol formation, and he'll throw. 3-step drop, looking, that one's picked off, and immediately there to make the stop is Davidson. It was Kobe McPhee, number 35, coming up with the pick, and McPhee there, Chris, just read that one all the way.
Yeah, the ball was thrown a little bit behind, and McPhee jumped on that one, and fortunately for Spanish Fork, he didn't score, but yeah, that one was a little late or a little behind the receiver.
So we will see what Wasatch does here now with the short field. They'll start in the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone at the Spanish Fork 19-yard line. Parker Quinton will come out here. We'll see. The first drive, we saw a lot of Zach Thatcher. And here we're going to have a penalty flag on 1st down.
Rapania probably jumped off sides.
Be the 2nd penalty against the Dons, and that will bring up 1st and 5 here for Wasatch.
Not the start you wanted for the Dons here tonight on homecoming night.
Man goes in motion, and keeping it is Parker Quinton. Quinton will get maybe a yard or 2 before being brought down.
Dallin Pepper just lights him up at the end of that play, but not after he gains 1 or 2, so it's 2nd and about 3, 2nd and 4 range.
Have to keep an eye. One thing to watch, the backup quarterback, Jake Gillum, will play wide receiver. You see him number 4, he's in that bunch formation. Keep an eye on maybe some kind of reverse pass at some point. Here's Thacker, who breaks the tackle and now works his way towards the 10. He's down to about the 10.5-yard line or so. And so it's going to bring up 3rd and maybe a half a yard here coming up for Wasatch. And definitely, Chris, I would think you're in 2-down territory right now if you're the Wasps.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just continue to run the ball here in 3rd and short and see if they can't even break one for a touchdown. If they pick it up, they'll be inside the 10. So
Quinton looks to go under center. Keep an eye on a quarterback keeper right here. Quinton goes right up the middle on the keeper, gets to the 5-yard line. A whole host of Dons, but they're still moving his progress towards the goal line. And the question, it's going to be close, and he's in. Touchdown, Wasatch. Parker Quinton on the quarterback keeper from 10 yards out, and it's 13-0 Wasps here in the 1st.
So Quinton's responsible for 2 touchdowns in the 1st quarter, 1 through the air, and now 1 on the ground.
And fortunately for Wasatch there, Chris, you had that forward progress that kept moving that pile forward, or else the officials would have came in and blown that play dead. Ammon Tuttle on for the point after touchdown try. Snap good. The hold, not the best snap. They get the hold down. The kick is through the uprights. And with 4:21 to play in the 1st quarter, Wasatch leading Spanish Fork 14-0 here on Spanish Fork 17. We want to let you know we got another one coming up for you next Friday night here from, well, not here from Spanish Fork High School. We'll be down the road next Friday night. We'll be at Salem Hills for Spanish Fork and Salem Hills. The Skyhawks are kind of one of those teams, Chris, that are waiting to see what's going to happen in the RPI come Monday. to see exactly where they're at, but they're probably going to be somewhere, potentially in the top 10 in the 5A rankings.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They are one of two teams that's 4-0 in Region 8. Springville being the other one who has Provo, and Provo's coming into their game 3-1. So it'll be interesting, depending on the Springville-Provo result, and if Salem Hills is able to win tonight, where those three teams line up.
It's going to be interesting because you get that, just those different components, and so it'll be interesting to see right here what happens throughout the rest of the region play. Two other games in Region 8. Chris mentioned one, Springville at Provo, and then Maple Mountain at Payson. We'll try to get some score updates from throughout Region 8. So the Dons trying to figure some things out, going now with Caden Holt. 5 wide receivers, Holt back to throw, 3-step drop, steps up, and Wasatch's defensive front gets there and brings down Holt. He might have stretched back to the line of scrimmage, but getting there, I believe, was Scott Gabler, number 36.
And what a tough defense this Wasatch team has. I don't even know if Spanish Forks gained a positive yard tonight. They've created one turnover and one 3-and-out, and really been a stiff defense here.
I believe that was actually Kobe McPhee on the tackle, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Sorry, 2nd and about 11. Holt back to throw, hit as he throws this one, incomplete. McPhee got there almost untouched there on the hit, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10.
And that Wasatch defensive line is really putting a lot of pressure on Spanish Forks quarterbacks and really just dominating Spanish Forks offensive line. They do not have an answer.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up here for the Dons right here. 4 wide receivers, single back set. Caden Holt joined by Tayson Reed, and Holt back to throw. Pressure comes, and Holt has to dance around again, and he'll go down back at the 25-yard line. 3 Wasps getting there to put pressure, and that will bring up 4th down. And right now, that offensive line for Spanish Fork having a really tough time handling the pressure from Wasatch.
Yeah, and that results in another negative play for Spanish Fork, but I don't know what you do if you're Caden Holt, or for that matter, Zach Dart, because neither one of them have had any time to make a throw.
Cade Olson punts it away. Skibby coming up. He'll call fair catch at his own 40-yard line, and he'll make the catch there. So Wasatch will start at their own 40-yard line with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to play. There's really only so much you can do, Chris. And your options are going to some quick passes to get the ball out of your quarterback's hand quickly, but that's only proved to work so well tonight for Spanish Fork.
And Spanish Fork's had a lot of success with the RPO, so I wonder if they might want to try some run-pass options on their next drive. But they've got to do a little bit better of holding their blocks for a count, and maybe even keeping a running back in the block, an outside linebacker coming in.
1st down and 10 coming here for Wasatch. Parker Quinton ready to go. Thacker, the deep back. There's the pitch outside. Thacker's going to get a couple still on his feet. He's going to have a lot more than a couple. He's going to be pretty close to the marker there, and that's going to be about 9 there on 1st down. Again, nothing too out of the box there, Chris. That's just a simple pitch.
A simple pitch to the outside. Gets around the tackle there and picks up 9. And Thacker is just he's 5'8", but just such a wide human being that he's tough to bring down.
2nd down and 1. Quinton with the play action pass, gets it out. That's Gillum. He's got the 1st down. Across midfield to about the Spanish Fork 46-yard line. And that's just that play action rollout. And Wasatch right now clicking on all cylinders offensively.
Yeah, and Quinton had to get rid of that in a hurry Unfortunately for him, Gilman's open. And, yeah, this Wasatch team's running on both sides of the field tonight.
So 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play here. Here's the gift. Fumble, and falling on it quickly is Parker Quinton as he went to, I think he made a late decision to pull it from Zach Thacker there on a read option and just ended up dropping it on the grass. But Wasatch there able to avoid the turnover and brings up 2nd and 10.
And that's one of the risks you run when you run this option where you pull it out, keep it yourself. Thacker thought he was pulling it out, but Quinton anticipated Thacker taking the ball that time.
2nd down and 10 coming up, 1:40 to go here in the first quarter. 14-0 lead for Wasatch. They have jumped out on Spanish Fork, scoring on their first 2 drives of the ball game. Gilman goes in motion. Here's the option, the pitch now. Gilman trying to get the corner, and a great open field tackle right there by Darian Harrison, who's able to get there and makes a nice shoestring tackle and brings up 3rd and long.
And great job by Spanish Fork containing that time and not letting Wasatch get the edge, and Harrison comes up with a huge tackle.
So we'll see. We'll see here what Wasatch. The Wasps have really liked to go like one-on-one on the corners in their 3rd and long plays. So we'll see right here what they're going to do.
And this is the first 3rd and long Wasatch has had this night. We got blood on a player, I believe.
Nonetheless, they will send off number 21, McGuire Law. Jackson Nielsen will run in, the junior, and now they're going to... Officials wanted, I think, to check some equipment or something. And they're set and ready to go. 3rd down and 9, 47 seconds to play in the quarter. Quinton throws one-on-one. That one almost intercepted. It just kind of trapped on the grass there. I think Quinton was looking for a slant, and Damian Skibby ran a go.
And, in the corner there just stood still, so just a little miscommunication there, and Wasatch will be forced to punt.
Ammon Tuttle, number 10, to punt. Going back deep is McKay Perry, number 5. He'll get back to receive the punt at about his own 8-yard line or so. Tuttle ready to go, standing at his own 40. Here's the snap. They get it off from the 42. It's a pretty good spiraling kick, and it will take a nice Spanish Fork bounce, and it will be down at about the 18-yard line. So a nice bounce there for the Dons gives them a couple of yards back in their favor with 35 seconds to play in the first quarter. But the biggest thing right now is trying to find a way to get more than 3 plays and a punt on a drive here that you've had so far in the first quarter.
Yeah, and they've tried to establish the run, but really just not, Wasatch is not giving up any yardage here, and Zach Dart's back in the game.
Dart ready to go, joined by Joshua Buck in the backfield. Dart looks to be looking to make some kind of last-second adjustment here at the line of scrimmage with 4 wide receivers. Here's the give up the middle to Buck, and Buck there looks like he lost about 2, maybe 3 on first down. Just getting overpowered up front right now by that Wasatch defensive line.
And I believe that's number 68 for Wasatch, who's really made a couple of plays, Brisk, and then they've got Cleverly up there as well. And, man, those guys are just not giving any yards as this 3-4 defense is stopping the run and stopping the pass as well, for that matter.
We'll see if we get this one off here, and we will not. This will end the first quarter. We've reached the end of one here at Spanish Fork High School. Wasatch 14, Spanish Fork 0. Homecoming night in Spanish Fork. The Dons trail at the end of one.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport: paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Start of quarter number 2 here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst as we get set and ready to go for quarter number 2, and it will start in a 2nd and 10 for Spanish Fork from their own 19-yard line here, as the Dons try to see if they can get some offense going here to start the second quarter. And Chris, you brought up a good point in between. The question really right now has been, if you can't run and you can't throw, Spanish Fork has to try to find a way. I don't know if it's with a different personnel package or what they can try to do against this Wasatch defense tonight.
Yeah, they're still looking to pick up their first down, so they definitely haven't found the answer yet.
2nd down and 10, and coming up right here, we're ready for play here to start quarter number 2. Zach Dart in the ball game for Spanish Fork, and Dart will give it straight ahead on the read, and just not much going there. I believe for Tayson Reed there on the carry. And right there with that read option, he just holds the ball out there, really kind of tries to make that decision, but Wasatch getting multiple guys there really kind of made the decision right there for the Dons.
Yeah, and that defensive line are the guys that are making the tackles, so you need your offensive line to just get a little bit better push.
3rd down and 10, a passing situation here. Dart back to throw. Stepping up, taking a shot one-on-one for Cade Olson. He's out there, he's got it in stride. 1st down Spanish Fork inside the 40-yard line of Wasatch. And that's one way to kind of open it up. You get a downfield passing play.
Yeah, and Zach Dart had to get rid of that in a hurry or he was going to get clocked. And great job by Olson coming up with the catch, and it was really good coverage that time for Wasatch. Just better offense beat the defense that time.
1st down and 10, Spanish Fork right now at the, they're going to say he was out around the 43. And so here it will be 1st down and 10. Here is Tayson Reed on the carry. He's working for the line of scrimmage, but a whole host of Wasps get there, and it brings up 2nd down and probably a loss of about a yard or so on 1st down for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, and maybe they, I don't know if they can run. I don't know if at some point you just have to abandon the run and maybe go a little more vertical, maybe try and get some quick passing, some screen passes, that type of stuff to get some yardage in this ball game.
2nd down and 11, ball back on the 44-yard line. Dart back to throw. Pressure comes immediately. Throws off his back foot again. One-on-one for Cade Olson, but this one thrown into the sidelines. That will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, and Zach Dart just got lit up that time and just didn't have enough time to throw a good ball to Olson that time. It's great to see Cade Olson playing receiver this game.
Last week he did some place kicking for Spanish Fork, kicked the extra point. Here's the 3rd down and 11 play coming up right here. Spanish Fork looking for about the 34-yard line for a 1st down, and Dart immediately pressured, and he's going to go down back at his own 44-yard line. It was Kobe McPhee, number 35, getting there, and it will bring up 4th down in a punting situation again for the Dons right there. And that's just one-on-one, the quarterback against the linebacker, and Zach Dart there just had to pull the ball in and protect it.
Yeah, and you don't want to fumble in that situation, as you mentioned, Ryan, but Spanish Fork did do one thing well. They were able to flip the field in this situation, so Wasatch will not be starting with as good a field position.
Penalty flag comes in, a good punt from Olson. Skibby will think about picking it up, but he won't. He'll be down at about the 4, but we'll wait and see what the penalty's going to be for. And we'll see if it will potentially make Spanish Fork re-punt or not. We'll kind of see right here what the call's going to be.
I believe Spanish Fork has had a couple of penalties. Wasatch, not any yet, so it's been a pretty clean game from that aspect.
So we'll see here. The penalty flag, they've marked it back at about the line of scrimmage. So you would think oftentimes in the typical penalty of a hold, but it looks like it's going to be, they're talking to Preston Parrish, personal foul against Wasatch.
First down, Spanish Fork.
And it looks like it's going to be a first down, Spanish Fork. They're calling everybody back right there. And then the only thing I can think of, Chris, is some kind of hands to the face. And because it came out, the flag came out pretty much on the punt. Like right after the snap, the penalty flag came out.
That's a huge play. Well, does it give him a first down?
They're bringing him back, and Zach Dart in the offense has come off, and now they're going to start marking it off. If not, it's going to make it fourth down and enough where Preston Parrish says, you know what, we're going to go for it. But it looks like it's going to give him a first down at about the 36-yard line. So a 15-yard penalty, and they got about 15 and a half there needed, and that's going to be a first down.
And that hasn't been called consistent this year, because I've seen 15-yard penalties that have resulted in the same down repeating.
Here's Tayson Reed. He's got a little bit of a hole, cuts back. He's brought down at the 31-yard line. A good pickup there of about 5 down to the 31-yard line. A nice cutback right about there.
Yeah, great job by Reed. That was a quick hitter, and I think Spanish Fork's got to be more decisive on this running attack and not if they give Wasatch any time, they're going to defend that option play well.
Second down and 5 coming up right here. 4 wide receivers right here. Caden Holt, Zach Dart, the quarterback, in the pistol formation. Dart back to throw. Gets it out quickly, but into a really tight window. And Davidson there wanting a penalty flag, I think, because the defender was just right kind of on his back right there, but that will bring up third down.
Yeah, and I think the defender that time got there a little early. I think it's McPhee there, number 35, but no call that time.
And it'll bring up third down and 5 right here. Might be in 2-down territory here if you're Spanish Fork. 4 wide receivers, single back set. Back to throw. Dart gets it out quickly. Hit as he throws that one almost just over the reach there of the corner. That was Robert Schallenberger. And goes out of bounds, brings up a 4th and 5. And the offense for Spanish Fork with 9:15 to play in the first half. Looks like the Dons are going to stay on the field.
And Tyler Carl came in on that blitz, and that's the second time on this drive he's hit Zach Dart. So that wears on a quarterback, and especially on their mental clock inside their head on how fast they have to throw it.
4th down and 5, 4 wide receivers. No safety over the top, which means you're going to get one-on-one everywhere you go. Dart back to throw, gets it out quickly, looking for Corbin Harrison on the back shoulder. Did he bring it in? He did, inside the 5, down to about the 3, and that's where that one-on-one matchup. But wait a second, there's a penalty flag, and that's, Chris, where you talked about no safety, no help over the top. It's just one-on-one.
And they're picking up the flag, so I don't know what's going on down there. But great catch by Harrison. I saw the ball bobbling. I wasn't sure he was going to come up with that one, but is able to hang on, and they pick up the flag. Well, maybe.
We'll see. The official now coming in like he's going to make a call, and he's going to talk it over right here. The Dons are lined up ready to go for the next play, and we'll see here what it's going to be. We'll get our call. It's going to be personal foul, roughing the passer Wasatch, half a distance to the goal, first down. So a roughing the passer penalty there.
You got to move those chains quickly as they're clear down at the 40.
It'll be first and goal, Spanish Fork at the 2. Don's looking like they're going to try to see if they can punch it in. Reed right behind Zach Dart. Here's the give. Reed tries to punch it in. McPhee, the first one. Thacker there is, or sorry, not Thacker, but that is 24. Tyler Carl to Wasatch Wasps there immediately to make the tackle.
And they've been doing that all night. Credit them, but you got to get a helmet on somebody.
And this time Tyler Carl mistimes the snap count, and essentially Spanish Fork's going to get the 2 yards they just lost back, and now bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, it looks like Spanish Fork might have changed up the count that time. Clocks, there it goes. It wasn't moving for a second.
Ready to go right here. Dart back to throw, throws it over the middle. That one's going to be in and out of the hands of the receiver. The penalty flag comes in, and I think they were trying to get it to Gabe Oldham, and instead I think there's going to be some pass interference against Wasatch.
Yeah, it looks like the call is going to be on Skibby that time as he got there a little bit too soon. If you're Spanish Fork, you have to punch this ball in on this drive. You cannot go all the way down here, especially with the limited success they've had on their early drives and not come away with the touchdown.
Last week in a similar position, and I think here they actually got a holding penalty called against Wasatch. Spanish Fork was in this position a week ago against Provo, Chris, and they just couldn't punch it in enough time there. They actually fumbled and turned the ball over inside the 5. Dart with the ball, gives it up. Tayson Reed trying to get to the corner. He's going to be held out about a yard short, and it's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 1.
And for Spanish Fork, I don't know if you bring in Rapena and see if you can't get somebody to block. We've seen them do that earlier in the season.
Part of me wonders, too, if you might just call Zach Dart's number here on a quarterback keeper.
Line him up under center.
3rd down and 1, pistol formation. Coming here, Tayson Reed again the back. Here's the give, Reed trying to get it in, and he is going to be across. Touchdown, Spanish Fork.
A great job by Reed taking that ball, going 2 yards, and he's in the end zone, and we got our first fireworks of the night.
A big touchdown there for Tayson Reed as he finds his way in the end zone right there, and you see the Wasatch Mountains in the background there. And now a big extra point. It will be Kate Olson will come on to kick the extra point. Caden Holt, number 10, will hold. Lake getting a man on the field right there. Davidson now on the field, number 2. Snap good, hold good. The kick is through the uprights there for Kate Olson. And it's a 14-7 lead for Wasatch with 7:49 to go here at Spanish Fork. And a big drive right there to try to get back in the ball game for Spanish Fork right there.
Yeah, and they needed that, and that was all set up by that huge Kate Olson pass. And if you remember, Spanish Fork punted, but there was some sort of call that resulted in a Spanish Fork first down, and Wasatch's big mistake kept that drive alive, and Spanish Fork has cut this lead in half, where before that drive it looked like Wasatch was just going to run away with this game.
So right there, it will be interesting to see with 7:49 to play here before halftime what ends up happening right here for Spanish Fork, and a big response there from the drive. You see the offense right there going over what happened on that last drive, and now it will be to kick it away for Spanish Fork. Have it number 38, and I don't have a 38 on my roster. It's been right here handling the kickoffs.
I've only got 3 Spanish Fork rosters in front of me, and none of them have 38.
Damian Skibby and Zach Webster. Skibby to the top of your screen, Webster to the bottom, back deep to receive the kick here for Spanish Fork. And here's the kick, and this is going to be a short kick, and it's going to be returned by Wasatch, breaking a tackle before going down around the 38-yard line. On the return there was number 18, Parker North, right there on the return. Brought down by Jeffrey Hernandez, and with 7:44 to go, the nice thing is that long touchdown drive really kept that defense for Spanish Fork off the field for a while. And so a well-rested defense, Chris, maybe trying to draw off some of the momentum from the offense.
Yeah, and also the big key, which you just mentioned at the end, is momentum. Hopefully Spanish Fork's taking back some of that momentum.
1st down and 10 coming up here for Wasatch from their own 38-yard line. Straight up the middle, Thacker has about 9 on the 1st down carry. He may have enough for a first. It's going to be close. He's going to pick up, it looks like, just enough for a 1st down, just straight up the middle.
Yeah, and Thacker is just low to the ground, finds the hole, gets through it, gets as many yards, and puts both hands on that ball when he's getting close for contact. So you give him 10.
McKay Perry and Michele Lua there on the tackle. Straight up the middle again is Thacker. This time he kind of bounced it outside. And again, McKay Perry on the tackle. He's been kind of all over the place tonight for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, he has, but unfortunately for Spanish Fork, that's another 6-yard run, and Wasatch is just feeding the beast they call Thackeray, and just giving him the ball, and he's getting low to the ground and really picking up positive yardage and falling forward.
Quentin in the backfield gives to Thacker again, right up the middle. First down, Wasps, inside the 40 to the 39.
This is really just power football here for Wasatch as Thacker just takes it and then picks up another big chunk of yardage before he's finally brought down by number 7, Mulestein.
So it'll be first down and 10 inside the Spanish Fork 40 at the 39. 6:40 to play before half. Here's Thacker again up the middle. He's got another first down, this time inside the 30, down to about the 20. They're going to give him the 28-yard line, and that's enough for a first down.
Yeah, and Spanish Fork just has no answer for this run. They're going to substitute a couple guys here. But also you got to be wondering if Thacker's just going to get the ball on every play of this drive.
First and 10 inside the 30 now, down to the 28. This is a Wasatch team that is pretty deep in their backs. And now whistles blow. We'll see. I think we're going to have a timeout. That's what it looks like here, but we'll see. The Wasps will huddle.
I think there was some sort of referee equipment issue there.
So now we'll get back to play here. First and 10, ball on the 27. Thacker straight ahead again on the carry. Thacker will this time be held to about 4 yards on the ground there. 3, maybe 4, depending on the spot, but gets, it looks like, the 24-yard line.
And Spanish Fork had made some substitutions that time on the defensive line, and we'll see if that helps out.
Wasatch with all 3 of their timeouts. Spanish Fork with all 3 of their timeouts. As we approach halftime, we'll have the halftime festivities here for the homecoming game. Here's Parker Quinton on the play action fake, drops this one off. That is complete, and that is going to be a touchdown as Jake Gilman gets in, and it's a 20-7 lead for Wasatch. You could tell all the eyes on the defense there went to Thacker there on the carry, and they just rolled Gilman out and just dropped it off to him.
Yeah, it's the classic, the run sets up the play action pass, and when you have a running back that picks up, 7-8 yards a carry, you have to respect that running back, and Spanish Fork wasn't really watching Gilliman, and he's able to get in the end zone.
Extra point coming on Ammon Tuttle. Snap good, hold good, kick looks good, and it is through. And with 5:39 to play before halftime, it's a 21-7 lead right here for the Wasatch Wasps on top of the Spanish Fork Dons here on homecoming night. Great to be with everybody. Let's thank our sponsors for making our broadcast possible tonight. We got the car guys of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, McKell, Thompson, and Hunter Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We thank everybody for making this broadcast possible. We want to welcome those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, where you can keep up with all the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. Great to be with everybody as the sun is set, the lights are coming on, and for the most part now, Chris, as we get ready to play football here the last week and a half or so of summer before fall sets in, it's pretty much Friday night lights from here on out.
Yeah, and as we get later into the year, as you mentioned, it'll be darker, and it's really exciting here. Wasatch answered quickly to Spanish Fork's score to take that lead back to 14.
Tyler Cook will kick it away. McKay Perry back deep again to receive. Perry will run over towards the Wasatch sideline, catch this one on the run across the 5. Looking to try to get outside, gets a block, hurdles a man, and he's brought down around the 23-yard line or so. So Spanish Fork will start here with 5 minutes and 33 seconds to play, and with all 3 of their timeouts, we'll see quarterback Zach Dart and see when he's had some time to throw. It hasn't been consistent, but when he's had time to throw, Chris, he's been able to use that good right arm that he has. He's been able to drop some nice throws in there.
Yeah, and Wasatch's defensive backs are completely selling out and anticipating the pressure is going to help. So if you can block, the deep ball will be open as nobody's further than 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage for Wasatch.
First down and 10 as Dart drops this one off. There's Reed, breaks one tackle, tries to get around the corner. He's going to be pulled down. The ball, it looks like, comes loose, and Wasatch says they have it, and it will be Wasatch football. So the Dons turn it over. They would have had about 9 yards, and Tayson Reed tries to get a couple of extra yards, Chris, and right there, as we'll see here on the replay, this couple of extra yards cost them the ball and the turnover.
Yeah, great job by Wasatch's number 2 poking that out there. That's Webster, and then it's picked up by Tuttle.
So Wasatch, a chance here with the ball on the 33-yard line, a chance to see what they can do here with 5:26 to play in before halftime, a chance to potentially take a 3-touchdown lead into the locker room at halftime. Back to throw with some time, taking a shot deep, looking for Skibby, and that one just overthrew Damian Skibby, and that one will bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I think Skibby would have been open that time. If Quinton would have held on to that ball for just a split, half a second, that timing on that play might have worked.
I'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Wasatch, back at their own 33-yard line. The Wasps, they're really getting away from what's worked for the most part, and that's been Zach Thacker. And there took a shot one-on-one over the top, but you've seen Spanish Fork tonight, Chris, really kind of load the box and kind of give Wasatch that one-on-one route. Thacker straight up the middle again, trying to drive. He'll pick up about 3 yards there on 2nd down. He'll bring up 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, great job by Spanish Fork really containing the run, limiting it to a gain of 4 or 5, and forced Wasatch into a 3rd and 5 here. If you're Wasatch, you might want to go deep here and take another shot, because they have had quite a bit of success running. I'm guessing this is a 4-down territory. Actually, they're probably a little too deep to rely just on the deep pass.
3rd down and 8, Thacker in the backfield. Quinton pulls it, rolls to the bottom of the screen, looking deep, has a man out there just out of the reach, and incomplete, looking for Ammon Tuttle, and that will bring up 4th down.
And Tuttle was open there. Quinton was just unable to get him the ball, and for Wasatch, it's, what are they calling this, about 4th and 6. So still, I don't think the run's out of the question here the way that they've been running the ball.
Typically, you wouldn't see that. Thacker's going off the field, so this looks like it's going to be a 5-wide receiver look right here for Wasatch. Parker Quinton going to be all by himself right here. 3 to the bottom, 2 to the top of your screen.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the quarterback draw in this situation as well.
Quinton will take the quarterback draw, tries to go up the middle and has nothing. The whole Don defensive line getting there for the 2 Jacks Pizza quarterback sack. And right there, Chris, a good stop for the defense. Now you're giving the offense plenty of time with 4:33 to play before halftime to try to see if you can get back within a score.
Yeah, and credit the defense there. They weren't put in the best situation as Wasatch had great field position, but they're still able to get the turnover on downs.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 coming up here for Spanish Fork at their own 31-yard line. 4:33 to play before halftime. 4 wide receivers here for Spanish Fork. Back to throw with some time. That ball comes up looking for Harrison. A diving interception, but I think this is going to be, they're going to say incomplete. Damian Skibby able to play center field there. We'll see what the penalty flag might be for.
And I wonder if the official called it incomplete, because he's going to call pass interference or at least a hold on Wasatch in this play, because I thought it looked like Skibby caught it.
Skibby did a nice job getting his hands underneath it, but there they call it incomplete. Definitely is some contact there, so we'll see whether they're going to go with the holding call, Chris, or whether they're going to go with the pass interference. And I think just from the looks of it here, it's going to be a hold against Wasatch. So that will be, I believe, of the 10-yard variety. And that will bring up a first down for the Dons. So 4:24 to play before halftime. 3 timeouts to work with if you're Preston Parish and the Dons. You've seen Wasatch play a little more over-the-top safeties since they've gotten beat on that deep ball. Dart takes the snap, he'll throw. A late draw play to Tayson Reed, and Reed will lose a yard or two. Didn't fool Wasatch right there on that draw, and that was actually Joshua Buck on the carry.
Yeah, and Buck had nowhere to go, is led by number 41 there for Wasatch. Dylan Lovell just leveled him that time.
So we'll bring up second down 11. 3:50 to play here before halftime. Dart ready to go. Back to throw with some time. 3-step drop. That one almost picked again. That one goes incomplete. Damian Skibby. Sorry, not Skibby. That is, I believe, Webster got in there to knock it down.
Wow, and Webster showed some quickness that time as he flew in from his corner spot to break up that pass. A lot of athletes on this Wasatch team. They might give the Provo and Springville a run for the region title, and Salem Hills as well this season.
Third down and 11. Another passing situation here for Spanish Fork. They're going to go with 4 wide receivers. Back to throw. Dart, quick 3-step drop. Throws off his back foot over towards the sideline. A penalty flag comes in there at the end. And we'll see here who this is going to go against. A little bit of some one-on-one battle right there. But again, Wasatch getting pressure on Zach Dart.
Yeah, they got pressure. I didn't see the call there, but it looks like they're going to call pass interference or a hold on Webster, who was defending Olson. I was too busy watching Dart on his back on the sideline. Or in the backfield, excuse me.
So we'll see as they sort this penalty out right here. But it should be a no-brainer for Spanish Fork and we'll just see here what the yard mark is going to be. Spanish Fork started to move up, but the officials still having a discussion out there. But I don't know is what necessarily the discussion is about. It's about where to place the ball or the penalty flag. We've seen these officials take a little bit of time and make sure they have all their ducks in a row, so to speak.
Yeah, they're making sure they're making the right call. Definitely not as quick as the crew we had in Provo at times last week, but
and this will be pass interference against the Dons. Penalties declined, 4th down.
Huh.
I didn't see it on the replay, but we're back and elevated. The official's the one on the field, but that's a big penalty for Spanish Fork, and now we'll back them up here on 4th down in a punting situation, and they'll punt to Damian Skibby.
Yeah, that surprises me, that call. I thought for sure Webster got to Olson before that.
Here's a good punt. Skibby going back to his own 20. Makes a man, tries to cut up the middle and cuts into the whole host of Dons. A good special teams tackle at the 26-yard line. And with 3:22 to play before halftime, it will be Wasps football. And they'll have a chance to start back at their own 26-yard line.
And we talked about this last week at Provo, but Wasatch will get the ball to start the second half. If you're able to score here, get up 28-7, and then get the ball to start the second half, they really could put this game out of reach in a hurry. So it's important for the Dons to get a stop on this drive.
Right here, Parker Quinton will give to Thacker on 1st down, and Thacker this time, he's only going to get a yard or two on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 8 for Wasatch.
And great job by Spanish Fork stopping the run there, and it looks like they gave him about 4 where the marker is at, and looks like he got a generous spot that time, Thacker did, but he's running hard. He's easily going to get 30 carries by the time this is done.
Usually, sometimes they're just looking at the box score with the stats each week. They get Thacker usually somewhere between 20 and 25, but tonight, like you said, Chris, it might be closer to 30 before the night's done. Parker Quinton keeps it. Now we'll drop it off there to Gilman out of the backfield. And Gilman will be about a yard or two short. There's a penalty flag, though, to the very top of the field, up where the receiver and corner would have been. And Oldham there, and I think it was a face mask. Kind of an interesting spot to see where the flag came in for the face mask, because it wasn't the closest official that called it. Nonetheless, it looks like it is a face mask against Spanish Fork, and that will move the
Wasatch is moving back though.
And maybe Jake Oldham got fortunate there.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
That makes a little more sense where the penalty flag came in, because it came in from, I believe, the official there on the other sideline.
Oh, there was a face mask, so Spanish Fork gets lucky. Ineligible receiver downfield. We'll replay second down.
And so now it will bring up a 2nd and 7, well, much longer than a 2nd and 7. It's going to make it about a 2nd and 12, maybe 2nd and 13 at the end of the day.
I was going to say Thacker's on the sideline still.
Here's Quinton on the keeper. He tries to get outside. Last man to beat. Can he get the sideline? He does. Picks up a key block from Skibby. And Thacker's going to be close to midfield. He's going to be about the 47-yard line. And a first down for Wasatch.
It was finally brought down by Dallin Pepper, but Quinton can run as well, as he was able to get that corner and get upfield for quite a few yards. And for Spanish Fork, really, they haven't had a whole lot of answers for this rushing attack. Could you imagine if Wasatch had another bruising back up the middle? With the way this line blocks, that 1-2 punch would be incredible, but they have to get Thacker some rest.
First down and 10. Here's a give straight up the middle. And that is Thacker back in, and he's going to have 8, maybe 9. And this is the tough part of playing a team like Wasatch that's running the ball so well. Chris, you get down multiple scores in the second half, and that clock can quickly tick. Wasatch going quickly. Thacker's going to have he'll have a first down here.
A helmet to helmet.
And a penalty flag came in. And that's going to put him down to about the 36-yard line.
I think at the end of this play, somebody leads with their head there for Spanish Fork. And I think that's number 15 that's going to pick up that penalty for Spanish Fork and give him another 15 yards. Bradley Stevens coming in, but I don't know how you stop that guy when he's going low like that.
And that's kind of a tough penalty to take, Chris, because like you mentioned, you have a guy lowering his head. You're trying to come in low, somebody that's staying low to the ground, and that's going to happen sometimes. That incidental contact, that's now a penalty every time it happens, regardless of if it was incidental or not.
Yeah, and I guess you just got to adapt your game and lead with your shoulder more.
If I remember correctly, that's a 15-yard penalty at the high school level. So
yes.
We'll wait. So that would put Wasatch inside the red zone, probably somewhere around the 16-ish. And I think Spanish Fork, Preston Parrish wants to call a timeout with 1:51 to go before the half. 21-7 lead for Wasatch. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, when we look at the grand scheme of things, and we look at our matchup coming up next week on Spanish Fork 17. Another fun one with Salem Hills and Spanish Fork. You get a rivalry-type ball game, and you get a game where if you're Spanish Fork, RPI-wise, that becomes a much bigger contest.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, for most of these teams in Region 8, they've done well outside of region with a lot of winning records. So I imagine their RPIs will be up there. I'm curious to see some of the other teams like Orem, where they've lost a lot of games, but they've played some tough opponents outside of state, where they're going to end up with their RPI.
It'll be fun and interesting to see. Those rankings, if I remember correctly, will be released by the UHSAA, I believe, on Monday morning around 9 a.m. If I remember correctly. At least that's when the other rankings came out, so it'll be kind of fun to see those first-time rankings come out and to see the potential playoff matchups as they come out, of course. everyone makes the playoffs, and so we'll kind of have an idea a little bit of who the Dons might play at home or who they might go play on the road at that point of the season. Parker Quinton gives to Zach Thacker right up the middle. He now tries to get outside. Couple of Dons there quickly to make the stop right there. And now there's an injured Don. That's Rupena, who's a little slow to get up. Sorry, that wasn't Rupena, because Rupena is coming in on the field right now. That's number 53. 53 or 58.
It looks like it's 53, and he's moving well here on the sideline. Might just be a little bit of fatigue.
Gabe Oldham now kind of coming off the field, hobbling a little bit right here. So a big physical game. A lot of these players have been going both ways for both of these teams tonight. Wasatch going a little bit more both ways, though, than Spanish Fork.
I think that's Lulula that's coming up slow here, number 8.
That is Leilua. That's not Gabe Oldham's still out there. I see him.
8, 9, 10, 18. These numbers for Spanish Fork look a lot alike with the font.
They're wearing the black with the gray, with the, or I guess, silver numbers. Thacker gets the call right up the middle to the 5. Thacker's in, touchdown, Wasatch, and the Wasps take a commanding 27-7 lead here with 1:34 to play in the first half.
And this is the worst case scenario, as Spanish Fork's not able to stop Wasatch. They will get the ball one more time before the game. What in the world was that, right?
I think that was a some kind of foam football or something that was thrown up. I think it was thrown around in the student section and then came up here to us, and I wasn't ready to play catch.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Extra point up and through. And with 1:34 to go before halftime, a 28-7 lead right here. So we'll just kind of keep that here, and we'll see if someone comes back to claim it. And it was a 28-7 lead right here for the Wasatch Wasps on top of the Spanish Fork Dons. When you really take a look at it, Chris, they have gone, it's been really a power run game from Wasatch, and that defense, it's really set the tone.
Yeah, it has, and that's exactly how Wasatch wants to play their game. Ball control, very physical, running up the middle, and then they want to blitz on defense, and they've had a lot of success tonight. As the one thing that they've struggled with, though, is a few penalties here in this quarter. Outside of that, they've done well.
Well, and those are some big things right there when you take a look at some of those opportunities. Those penalties really come back. I think it was last week, Provo, in that Spanish Fork Provo game. The Bulldogs had like 15. What I couldn't remember was the exact yardage we were told after the game, but it was, I think, like 135 in penalties last week. Tyler Cook will kick it away here for Wasatch, and this one will go short. It will be returned from about the 15-yard line. Davidson trying to get outside. He's brought down by number 16. Quickly getting there was Riley Davis, and that will give Spanish Fork 90 seconds to work with here and 2 timeouts. Trailing 28-7. You'd really like to see Spanish Fork, Chris, if they can find a way to go into the 2-minute offense here and try to find a way to get some points back before halftime.
Yeah, and you've got to be super aggressive. You're down 21 points. The worst thing that could happen is you throw an interception in this situation, but really down by 21, you got a lot of ground to make up.
Zach Dart, the quarterback, in the pistol formation. Dart back to throw, drops it off out of the backfield. Here's Tayson Reed, and Reed is going to be hit and drop down. Tyler Carl getting there, and Cole Magnuson, number 81, both getting there on the tackle.
Yeah, Magnuson did a great job of staying with Reed that time and making sure that play was going nowhere.
Clock running at 1:07 to play before halftime. Coming up at the half, we'll have the halftime festivities here. We'll check some scores from throughout Region 8, and we'll get you, we'll recheck our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game here on Spanish Fork 17. Dart back to throw, gets it out quickly. Here's Davidson on the catch. He tries to cut it up, and now he's going to be brought down around the 30-yard line. I think he was trying to decide whether to go cut in the middle of the field or try to take it outside, and right there, Wasatch just swarmed them pretty quick.
Yeah, they did, and they've been doing that all night. They're really have dropped a couple of safeties deep, but also at times they're just going to go man coverage, put all 11 guys near the line of scrimmage and make you try and beat them deep. But here in this situation, they're still being super aggressive, but they've got 3 guys deep playing more of a prevent.
It'll be 3rd down and 9, 17 seconds to play here in the quarter. And pressure comes, and throwing it, putting it up there, but incomplete. There was Zach Dart, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it was intended for Olsen that time, but thrown well out of bounds.
So 11 seconds to play in the half, and Spanish Fork will have to punt. Damian Skibby will go back deep here for the Wasps.
For Spanish Fork, you just want to kick it away and hope 11 seconds runs off here.
The Dons late getting their last offensive player on the field. Preston Parrish calling a timeout there. I think to make sure they had everything all set up right. I don't know if they had, I still don't know if they had all 11 guys on the field right there for that punt. And that's the last thing that you want to do there is have a problem on the punt right here with 10 seconds to go. I think they started running some clock there before the snap, but with 10 seconds to play here in the quarter, it's a 28-7 lead right here for Wasatch on top of Spanish Fork. Homecoming night here, and so far, Wasatch has done a nice job coming in and kind of spoiling homecoming.
Yeah, they have for sure, and really credit them controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the field, and I think that's been key here.
There's Isaac Asiata there, wearing the former, I think he's retired now. He
retired. A couple seasons with the Dolphins.
And then signed with the Buffalo Bills. And kind of an interesting fact, him and I served in the same mission about the same time.
Really good. So you got the information on Isaac Asiata, former Spanish Fork star offensive lineman.
Right here, the officials, I believe, trying to get the attention there of the score clock. I think they're going to want to reset. They're going to want it reset to 11. 11-0. Right here, we'll see here what they want right here. The official trying to get it all squared away right here. And trying to reset it here, just right up here, looking up. There we go, yeah. 11.5 is what they'll put on the clock. And they'll get set here, ready to kick it away. Here's Cade Olsen. He's standing back his own. Low snap. They get it off as Wasatch was coming for the block. Skibby comes up to call fair catch. Somehow reached through a couple of defenders and came up with it. And Wasatch will have, with 5.5 seconds, probably one play here. We'll see what the Wasps decide to do, whether they'll just take a knee and get this one into halftime or whether they will try. I don't know if you just don't try to run Zach Thacker and see what happens.
And Zach Thacker could break it here. Also, we'll see. Maybe they'll roll something out and really go deep here on this play. I don't know.
So we'll see what happens here. It kind of looks like, though, they're just going to take a knee from the formation. They have one player kind of out of your picture at home beyond the official. The Wasps will take a knee right here, and will get us here into the halftime locker room here at Spanish Fork. At the end of the first half, it's Wasatch 28, Spanish Fork 7. We're back after this with the halftime show here from Spanish Fork High School. Wasatch leads at the half on Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience.
Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Tonight's second attendant are Shaylee Taylor and Jacob Moore. Shaylee is the daughter of Jim and Kathy Taylor. Shaylee loves traveling, especially to the ocean. She is on the Spanish Fork High School cheer team, and she will attend homecoming dance with Chase Jones. Jacob is the son of Christopher and Amber Moore. He is a member of the Spanish Fork Student Council and plays football here with the Mighty Ducks. He also shreds the longboard, and he is going to be escorting Josie Anderson to the homecoming dance team. Our first attendance is Cambry Cook and Sam Ashworth. Cambry is the daughter of Amy and Aaron Cook. She is a senior here on the student council, loves the outdoors and hanging out with friends. She will be escorted to tomorrow's dance by Zach Dark. Sam is the son of John and Amy Ashworth. He is a member of the Mighty Ducks football team there. He also plays a guitar hero, and I'm told he is in expert mode. Sam's date for the homecoming dance is Kiera Foiler. All right, and now our homecoming king tonight is Dallin Pepper. Dallin is the son of Joe and Jenna Pepper. Dallin is also a member of the Spanish Fork football team. He won a CrossFit game 3 times, and he will attend the dance with Carter Marziel. And our homecoming queen this year is Sarah Tuttle. Sarah plays tennis and dances. She has moved 10 times over her young life, and Spanish Fork is her favorite place of all. She will accompany Tabu Anissa to the homecoming dance. Give a big hand to your 2019-2020 homecoming royalty. And now, please welcome to the field your state championship Spanish Fork drill team. Tonight, they will be performing their competition hip-hop routine. The Lost Cheerleaders are coached by Rachel Shaw, Jordan Moore, Leslie Swenson, and Taylor Overstreet. We'd like to introduce you to our captains, Azrae Talbot, Bailey Sanderson, Piper Hess, McLean Gordon, and J.D. Uliberry. Give it up for your Lost Cheerleaders. Your music is on.
I'm gonna start it from the bottom. Show you how to flip a dollar. So as long as I got my friends, I'm hey.
The car that I drive before forever. You sleep on the beat, I don't compete with none of these geeks. I just read like I'm Kanye. This shit got dudes on no level. Then I be travel cause I'm paying for it. Hey, lean with it, down with it. Hit the phone and style with it. Man, ain't then you stop, then you hit that Molly Brown with it. Lean with it, down with it. Hit the phone and style with it. Man, ain't then you stop, then you hit that Molly Brown. Get on, hey, don't even stop, okay?
Lock don't drop, then you hit that million rock. Look, I'm a don. I gave my whole family jobs and I take care of my mom. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. She made it pop. I made a city move. See the competition, not a challenge. Check it out. It's 6 10 every day, stepping out. One of them brand new big boy toys. I do big boy things. I make big boy noise. And Forgive me for my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy.
And now, your Spanish Fork High School cheerleaders will be performing a homecoming routine choreographed by Taisha Money and led by Captains Kaylee Bishop and Josie Anderson. Making their way to the field is your cheerleaders.
some more. Cause I got a really big team, and they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings. We need some really nice things. We need some really big rings. I got a really big team. I got a really big team. They need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings.
Hey Alexa, hey Alexa, can we fit in the Tesla? Load in the pound of real play, just like the percolate.
Super duper cow making moves? Really? Really? Yeah. King Wavy, please go cover.
I'm a don, I'm a don, I'm a don. I gave my whole family jobs and I took care of my
And now, making their way onto the field is the two-time state championship Spanish Field Marching Band. They will now present their 2019 competitive show entitled Sept. The 2019 conference is under the direction of Kelsey Sullivan and Colton Engel. Please give a warm Spanish Field welcome to your Spanish Field High School Marching Band. Spanish Field High School Marching Band, welcome to the direction of Chris Styles.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Back here at halftime, a 28-7 lead for Wasatch on top of Spanish Fork. The halftime show concluding right here. Spanish Fork's about ready to take the field, and you just kind of hope, Chris, that some of maybe the excitement from halftime will kind of transition over to the game.
Yeah, I think the loudest this crowd got was when we had the Los Enchiladas male drill team come to the sidelines. So hopefully some of that excitement carries over into the second half. We obviously have a Don on a horse.
Definitely right here, trying to get excited. And when you take a look here at the first half, we're gonna have to just kind of jump into to halftime here. Just a couple of scores to quickly pass along. Maple Mountain was beating Payson 17-0 in the second quarter, and then Provo was up on Springville 21-0. So a couple of scores there. Fireworks going off, and Spanish Fork's about ready here to take the field here for the second half.
We have a horse on the field too, so let's see if it gets spooked. Quite the fireworks show.
And here come the Dons for the second half. And now they'll start running the 3-minute clock here. We'll have 3 minutes here to get ready. Here as you see the fireworks still going off right here at the half. And trying to see what they can do here to excite this crowd and excite the Spanish Fork team, because the Dons really had to try and search, Chris, in that first half. They really had to kind of search in that first half, Chris, for opportunities to try to take their shot and get points. And really, when you take a look at it, Wasatch countered every time Spanish Fork got something going. Wasatch made some kind of big play.
Yeah, they did for sure. Wasatch really ran the ball well, and one time Spanish Fork did score, Wasatch ran down the field and took that lead back up to 14.
So it's a 28-7 lead right now here at the half, and when you really take a look at it right here, Chris, for Wasatch, nothing too super out of the box, really. It was really just getting the ball to Zach Thacker and letting him go to work.
Yeah, and then when they weren't throwing it to Thackeray, Quinton did a good job as well of throwing the ball and then running himself a couple of times. So, but really, Thackeray set the tone for this game, and that's why Wasatch has the lead, as you mentioned, Ryan.
When you look at Spanish Fork, a couple of critical turnovers gave Wasatch a short field. What do the Dons have to do, though, and what can they do in that second half here to try to see if they can at least cut into this lead a little bit and not let this one get away from them?
Yeah, if you're Spanish Fork, you've been able to throw deep well once or twice. Wasatch has been playing shallow at times. We'll see if they continue to do that, but then they made some adjustments and put a couple safeties deep. So I think you got to, first of all, see if you can't stop Wasatch's run. I'm assuming we'll see a lot of Thackeray to start this third quarter, possibly create a turnover, get your offense in good field position, and see if you can't, cut into this lead. If you can score a couple touchdowns in this third quarter and then keep Wasatch out of the end zone, you're back in this ballgame, and that has to be the mindset for this Spanish Fork football team.
We'll take a look at our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game right here, at least in this first half. And the first thing they need to do is make sure they stop the rushing attack. That was something Spanish Fork really struggled with, Chris. Improve their passing completion rate. They just haven't had a lot of time to throw.
Yeah, they haven't. And then the last ones win the turnover battle. Unfortunately, they've turned the ball over twice. Wasatch hasn't turned it over at all. So with that said, Spanish Fork hopefully made the right adjustments, as we got a lot of smoke on the field due to that firework display.
It kind of looks, to give you an idea, from
Friday the 13th.
From our perspective up here, it kind of looks, if you've ever seen a game from the stands where there's a lot of fog, it's kind of what it looks like right here as we get set and ready to start the third quarter. A 28-7 lead on Friday the 13th right now, and Wasatch making a house call right here. A 3-touchdown lead at the half. Wasps get the ball to start the second half. It will be Skibby back to return to the top of your screen. And Zach Webster, he's at the bottom of your screen. We're set and ready to go right here as Spanish Fork will get set to kick it away. And we are ready to play high school football here on Spanish Fork 17. Here's the kick, and this one will be returned at about the 31-yard line. The Dons kicking it short, and they're going to say that the knee went down on the return, and they're going to say the ball's down at about the 32-yard line where Wasatch starts. And Chris, really the biggest thing for Spanish Fork right now, trying to find a way to get some 3-and-outs, because if Wasatch runs the ball as well as they did in the first half, who knows how many possessions you're really going to get if you're Spanish Fork.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been having long 4 or 5 minute drives, ending it with a touchdown. But Wasatch is kind of interesting. They'll put a single back in there, really no fullback, but they've had no problem just running up the middle.
11:57 to go, third quarter just underway, 28-7 lead right here. Parker Quinton, the quarterback, is ready and set to go here for Wasatch. Ready to go. Here's the give right up the middle. Thacker this time going to be pulled down. Gabe Oldham, I believe, got there on the stop. A couple other Dons there as well. And just a couple of yards on first down for Zach Thacker.
Yeah, Gabe Oldham, they list him, let's see here, at 6'7". Thacker's 5'8". He just used his long arms to come behind him and wrap him up and throw him down, which is great because we've seen Thacker just falling forward and picking up an extra yard or two after every carry.
Second down and 9 coming up here for Wasatch here in the third quarter. Ready to go right here. And the give, pulling it there, is the quarterback. Here's Gilman, number 4. He's got some space. He has 1 touchdown tonight. Gilman going to break a tackle, and he might have 2, and he does. And Wasatch will score on the second play of the second half and open this one up. 34-7 lead for the Wasps.
Yeah, great play action passes. It looks like they were going to hand it off to Thacker. Quinton throws it out and just throws it over the defender that time, and Gilman does the rest.
And that's really similar to the first passing touchdown that Parker Quinton had on the same kind of rollout to the right, Chris, and all he really did was just drop it off again, let Gilman do the rest.
Yeah, it took him just 1 minute to get that touchdown.
A big touchdown, Ammon Tuttle on for the point after touchdown try. Snap good, hold good, kick is through the uprights, and a minute into the third quarter, and Wasatch has now a 4-score lead on the Dons here with 11 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, Quinton's having himself a great ball game. He has 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground, and then Thacker has 1 on the ground as well. And as you mentioned, that's Gilman's second touchdown catch of the night. That one's 68 yards. So
his first one was 29 or 31, something like that. It was still a pretty considerable distance.
I wrote 24.
Okay. Well, 24, 29, 31. I mean, give or take a few yards,
Also, we got the full moon peeking up on your screen there behind the lights, so that's coming out too. It's been a scary night for the Dons so far, trailing 35-7.
35-7 right now, and Spanish Fork will get the football. The Dons will send, that's Eli Davidson back deep. He will receive. He's standing back at about his own 3-yard line. Ready to go, and they'll get set to kick it away. And the kick will go deep. Davidson will take it from about the 3-yard line. Maybe a special teams play, and Davidson hits the middle of that defense and goes down at the 20-yard line. I was thinking maybe a good special teams play on the return or something will get something going for Spanish Fork, but right there, just a return out to the 20, and now we'll see the Spanish Fork offense come out, and we'll see exactly who. We're going to still see Zach Dart, but this is a position right here for the young sophomore, Chris, to really get an opportunity to try to gain some leadership and maybe really try to see if he can try to find a way to take some kind of control in this ballgame.
Absolutely.
Dart's going to keep it there on first down, gets it out at the last second. That's complete out to Corbin Harrison.
Yeah, and he was brought down quickly by Schallenberger.
This is a fast Wasatch defense.
Yeah.
They find a way to get 4 or 5 guys to the ball. Seems like every stop.
And Ryan, at least at this point in the season, I think Wasatch might be the best team I've seen this season, maybe outside of Pleasant Grove.
They've seen, it's interesting to kind of see, definitely defensive-wise. Here, the 3-step drop. That one's nearly intercepted. Schallenberger had that one in his hands, but that one goes incomplete, and it brings up 3rd down.
You don't want to go 3 and out here for the Dons, and really, if the Dons do go 3 and out and Wasatch scores, we're already in the mercy rule, and that clock's going to run a lot more frequent.
3rd down and 7. A big 3rd and 7 for Spanish Fort coming up here. Dons looking for a 1st down. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Keep an eye on that matchup down there at the bottom. And now we're gonna have whistles, and we'll see here.
False start or illegal motion on Spanish Fork there.
That will back them up 5. So instead of it being 3rd and 7, now it's going to be 3rd and 12. So a definite passing situation right here. Spanish Fork just seems a little out of sorts right now, trying to get everybody lined up. Dart in the pistol formation, hasn't had a lot of time to throw downfield tonight. Pressure comes, stepping up. Here he does have some time, looking for Cade Olson. That one incomplete. Schallenberger there in the coverage, and I don't see a penalty. There's a penalty flag. Looking to see.
Most likely going to be a pass interference by Wasatch. And sometimes that's not the end of the world. If you're going to get beat deep, you might as well just interfere with the receiver and only take 15 or 10-yard penalty if they call a hold on you, instead of getting beat over the top, especially when you're on an island.
And they're going to call holding against Wasatch. So that's, I believe, only going to be a 10-yard penalty. That'll make it 3rd down and
about 2.
Coming up right here. So we'll see what Spanish Fork draws up right here. They've had a tough time trying to run through the trenches tonight. Wasatch looks like they're coming. Dart pulls it quickly, pressured from behind, throws it out there and just in a hurry, and another penalty flag coming in. This one coming in from the referee furthest away from the play, and we'll see what this is going to be. And Wasatch has not played the cleanest game tonight.
Well, they have it at times, and then they just get in drives where they give up multiple defensive penalties. But they are really a disruptive defense, as this looks to be on the Dons.
And if it is, that's going to take that 3rd down and 3, and it's going to push it into a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 territory, if not even more.
Unless you decline the penalty.
Which I wouldn't think 3rd and 3, Steve Coburn, the head coach for Wasatch, would really want to take too much of a risk. But you just never know.
I think they're going to decline this. Pass interference.
That's the 2nd offensive pass interference penalty that's been called on Spanish Fork.
Spanish Fork will bring out Olson and the putting unit here, so definitely not going for it in this situation. Back deep for Wasatch is Skibby, who
pressure comes. Olson gets the punt away. Skibby going back. He'll receive it at his own 35-yard line. He's brought down around the 37-yard line. A penalty flag, however.
Looks like we got 2 penalties because the official just threw his hat.
So we'll see here where this is gonna go. Right here, and we'll kind of sort this penalty out right here. Steve Coburn, the head coach for Wasatch, a very experienced coach, has spent some time at the college ranks, including some time down at Snow College in Ephraim. And then spent a year at North San Pete before coming up to Wasatch, and he's been the head coach for the Wasps for a while. And now we'll see here what's going to go. We're going to have a holding call against Wasatch. we're going to have a personal foul against Spanish Fork.
Wonder if they'll walk the one off on Wasatch and then move it 15 yards back, because usually the personal fouls after the initial play.
And so, Chris, I think you're right. So really, you're going to gain about 5 yards if you're the Wasps, because you're going to lose the 10, you're going to gain the 15. So you're really going to only gain 5.
And if you're Spanish Fork, if you don't do that late hit after the whistle blown, you're getting 5 yards.
They've marked it back to about the 23. Now they'll mark off 15, which should put it then around the 38. 37, 38.
38. That Oregon school system's paying off for you, Ryan.
And that college degree, and
right.
You know, it's really the college degree that really taught me that.
Good deal.
You know,
the Wolverines.
I don't know what the master's degree yet's teaching me, but you know, we can talk about that next football season. First down and 10 coming up here for Wasatch, with 9:44 to play here before in the third quarter. Wasatch scored on their opening drive of the quarter. Here's Thacker right up the middle, and Thacker's going to get on first down about maybe 6-7 yards or so, depending on the spot. He'll be out past the 45 though and bring up a second short.
Yeah, and Wasatch is just content here to run the ball, and obviously they want to try and avoid injuries. They have this one well in hand, and if they can get one more touchdown, that the mercy rule will come into effect and we'll have a moving clock.
2nd and 2. Thacker again gets outside, cuts it up in the middle. He's got some green as again he makes another kind of step through and cut. He's down to about the 34-yard line of Spanish Fork, and I don't have the yards in front of me, but that's got to put Thacker easily over 100.
Yeah, and he could have 200 by the time this game's over. He's not the type of back that's going to go for the home run and get, you know, a 70, 80-yard run, but he's good for 15 to 20 constantly. At least he has been tonight.
First down and 10. Here's the give for Quentin straight up the middle again. It's Thacker. He's inside the 30 down to the 28. And Wasatch at times, they've just kind of rode him multiple times.
Yeah, and you know, and credit them. He played a lot last year for this team. He's got that experience and really is a polished running back this season.
2nd down and 10, 8:43 to go here in the third quarter. 35-7 lead right here for Wasatch on top of Spanish Fork. 2nd down and 4 coming. They're going to go play action. Quentin going over the top, has a man, and in and out of the hands of Zach Webster. Webster, I don't know if he heard footsteps, but that one was probably 6 taken off the board on the drop by Webster.
Yeah, they went to that same fake handoff rollout, and Spanish Fork had Gilman covered well, but Webster across the middle was wide open. Fortunately, he drops it.
And it'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up. Ball on the 28-yard line right here. Wasatch easily right now tonight in 2-down territory right here. Back to throw, 3-step drop. Quentin going over the top, one-on-one coverage, has his man out there, but that pass is going to go incomplete, and that will bring up 4th and 4. Looking there for Jackson Nielsen.
And Nielsen had a step on the receiver. That one was just overthrown, but yeah, Quentin's been very accurate for the most part tonight, as that's one of few errant passes he's thrown.
Be 4th down and about 4 right here. Wasatch looks like the Wasps are going to go for it here in the third. Really kind of in no man's land. Too close to punt, but you're not close enough for a field goal.
It might have been a few years ago when they had their All-American kicker.
Skylar Southam. This would have been probably a chip shot. Quentin sets up the screen pass, has Thacker there. It's going to be close. He'll have the first down inside the 25, down to about the 21. A couple of Dons had to try to make kind of some arm tackles right there, and Zach Thacker is not the kind of back, Chris, you're going to be able to arm tackle.
Yeah, Zach Thacker's second effort there got that first down, as it looked like the Dons initially had him stopped short.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Here's the give. Thacker tries to cut it up in the middle. Nice job inside the 20. Thacker down to about the 16-yard line.
And if you're Spanish Fork, you really do not have an answer for this attack that Wasatch displayed, because, I mean, 5 yards, and you know it's coming.
Be 2nd down and 5 coming up. Spanish Fork will make a change in personnel right here for the 2nd and 5 play. Ready to go right here. Single back in the backfield. And here's the pitch to Thacker. Getting outside. A nice stop, though. Gabe Oldham there. And Michele Lua there for Spanish Fork. Make the stop of Thacker. He's going to lose about a yard or so. And brings up 3rd and about 6.
Yeah, rare negative play, and credit the Spanish Fork defense for straining that run outside. And for Spanish, this is a critical 3rd down. Wasatch is probably in a 2-down territory here, though.
3rd down and 6 right now. Ball on the 16-yard line. One of the biggest things to keep in mind, Chris, is how much that clock is ticking. Already at 6:43 to play here in the 3rd. And now some movement up front. I think Wasatch moved first, so this might move the Wasps back, and it will be a procedure penalty against Wasatch. So we'll make this a 3rd down and 11 play coming up.
I think Nelson failed to snap the ball that time from the center position. Everybody else for Wasatch moved.
This right here is a good group of offensive linemen. Skibby, the receiver, going to step in here, I think, into the slot right here. And now another penalty flag flies, and this is again going to be against Wasatch for an illegal procedure. And now, Chris, instead of it being a 3rd down and 6, now you're going to be 3rd and 16.
Yeah, and that's huge because we really haven't seen Wasatch in a 3rd and 16. I think the longest we've seen is about 3rd and 9, as they've had continual positive play after play in this game. So we'll see how they handle this pressure being backed up.
3rd down and 16 coming up right here. 6:39 to play in the 3rd quarter. Skibby goes in motion across your screen. Back to throw with some time. Looking over the middle. Has a man that's caught inside the 10, and that is in. That is Gilman in again, his 3rd score of the night, and it's a 41-7 lead for Wasatch. This one from 27 out, as it was Quinton to Jake Gilman, and Wasatch now a chance to take a controlling 42-7 lead pending the point after touchdown.
Gilman with his 3rd touchdown catch, Quinton with his 4th, and he's got 1 run on top of it, so he's responsible for 5 touchdowns in this game, and Wasatch is enjoying this one so far.
Extra point is through the uprights and good, with 6:32 to play in the 3rd quarter. A 42-7 lead, and this is the first time this season that we've seen this, Chris, but like you talked about here, now that you're 35 points up, that clock will start running. So now if you're Spanish Fork, your possession time is quickly going to be cut.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, if you're the Dons, you're probably not going to win this one. What do you want to work on as a team? Do you want to work on running the ball, trying to establish a run? Do you want to try and throw the ball a little bit? I mean, because this is basically turned into just another opportunity to try and improve your offense on this drive.
And another big game coming up next week. It will be Spanish Fork against Salem Hills, Chris, and that's a big one for not just because of the rivalry game, but a big one for Spanish Fork to go on the road and get ready for a very good Salem Hills team.
Yeah, and Salem Hills is 4-0. I'm not sure. I didn't see a score for them in Highland, but yeah, it'll be a tough game for Spanish Fork next week.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that one as we get ready to go here throughout the course of the high school football season right here. And now the clock continuing to run here with the mercy roll. Davidson back deep to return the kick from across the 3-yard line. Cuts it up through the middle, and he's brought down, or sorry, that's McKay Perry on the return. And he's out around the 25, 26-yard line, and that's where Spanish Fork will start their next drive with, believe that's still going to be Zach Dart.
And that clock will continue to run as they ready it for play here. So we should have a quick ball game unless Spanish Fork can get it under 27.
So 4 wide receivers, 3 to the bottom of your screen for Zach Dart here on first down. 3-step drop. That one goes incomplete. Looking there on the slant route. And I was trying to get the ball to Cade Olson. That brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, we've seen one big catch by Cade Olson, but outside of that, credit the Wasatch cornerbacks who have really shut him down. Cypress, the last game Spanish Fork played with Cade Olson at wide receiver, was unable to shut him down.
2nd down and 10 right here for Spanish Fork. Dart in the pistol formation. Pulls it. He's going to try to get it outside. Slides before he's hit. And he'll get a couple of yards there. As once again, you just saw that Wasatch front just collapse on the running back and then just pull it.
Yeah, and then he made the smart move there that time. Dart did, and he got down.
3rd and 7 here for Spanish Fork. Dons need the 35-yard line to get a first down and a fresh set of downs here.
And build a lot of confidence if they were able to drive on Wasatch and score here.
Wasatch looks like they're going to come on a blitz. Man coverage over the top. Back to throw. Dart rolls out, and he's going to be brought down back inside the 15-yard line. It was McPhee and I think Tyler Carl getting there for Wasatch, and that brings up 4th down, a loss of about 10, and now they'll sit back and punt.
Yeah, and credit Wasatch's defense. They bring a lot of pressure, and that defensive line and linebacker crew is very fast and athletic, and they're able to get to the quarterback in a hurry.
So it'll be 4th down and 17 here with 4:03 to go. Cade Olson with the punt. Skibby comes up, receives this one on the run, brought down immediately at the Spanish Fork 40. So Wasatch will again start with good field position. They'll start at the Spanish Fork 40-yard line here with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
And it's been all Wasatch here in this 2nd quarter as they've been able to increase this lead by adding 14 points.
So we'll see, too, how long Steve Coburn keeps that first team in. I can't imagine you would want to keep them out there too long, but still going to be that first team out there right here with 3:19 to go here in the quarter. 4 wide receivers ready to go right here. Here's the give straight up the middle. Thacker is going to be stood up on the against that Spanish Fork defensive line. Really the first time Spanish Fork has been able to really collapse and really contain that running attack. They're probably the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's one of the few plays, if not the only time, as you mentioned, Ryan. And the other question I got for Wasatch is how long are they going to keep Thacker in this ball game?
Be 2nd down and 10 coming up. 2:41 to play here in the quarter. 42-7 lead right here in favor of the Wasatch Wasps. Here's the give straight up the middle, just a gain of a couple of yards there as they go straight up the middle again with Zach Thacker.
And it might be a little too late, but yeah, Spanish Fork's starting to stop this running attack.
They'll bring up 3rd down and 6. That's the tricky part right now. That clock just continuing to run and continuing to move.
Yeah, and I think the rule's good, though. Once you fall down by 35, the probability of you coming back and winning these ball games is slim. And if it gets too out of hand, you don't want to be the team that's losing, 84-0 in some of these.
And you also don't want to, then you run the problems of injuries and things like that you don't want to get into. As here is a give to Thacker, and he's going to be driven back again. A nice pursuit there by Spanish Fork, and that will bring up 4th down and about 7, maybe 8 coming here for Wasatch.
Looks like Wasatch is going to keep the offense here on the field. and trust the defense and just let this clock run. It will stop as we change possession until they reset the ball.
See, I kind of thought you might see Wasatch just punt here in this situation, but who knows? They might just try to use the full amount of the play clock here, but it looks like the Wasps are going to go for it. Ready to go here. 3 receivers to the top, 3-step drop. They get it out on the slant. That's caught to Skibby. That's a first down to about the 21-yard line. There's a penalty flag, however, down right around the tackle right there. So we'll see if there's some helmet-to-helmet contact there and what the call is going to be right here.
And if it is, it's going to be the second time that's called on the Dons, and I believe that's going to be the case.
They'll mark it to about the 22-yard line for the moment. And then with 48 seconds, they'll run it again, and it's going to be against Spanish Fork. And it'll be a first down Wasps right here.
I think Wasatch will have to run one play here, and if they take enough time, once they start the clock after this penalty, that might be it for the third quarter.
These are the games that really in that RPI conversation, Chris, with margin of victory and things like that, these are these kind of games when it really gets tough in the RPI. You really want close ball games.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if margin of victory even matters. I think it's all record based.
See, and that's what I was. That's what I thought when I've been reading everything. And that one goes up the middle right there. And penalty flag comes in. This is probably going to be in the area of a hold. But we'll see.
Low snap that time, and I think 53 was grabbing onto Rapena that time, and that's what the officials call.
So they'll move him back right here with 28 seconds to play. And that's the good thing that, if I remember correctly, it's record of your opponents, record of your opponent's opponents.
Well, it starts off with your record.
Your record.
Your opponent's record. Your opponent's record. So those three things factor into this percentage index, and then we'll find out who's number one in the state per this ranking. And I imagine as the region season gets into full throttle in a couple weeks, we're going to see some swings.
There'll be some swings. It'll be interesting to see, too, when you get kind of later on in kind of the end of the regular season, how some of those things will swing, and if teams get hot at the right time, how that affects it. 2 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter, and the clock will expire, and we will head to the fourth quarter. End of 3 here for Spanish Fork High School. Wasatch 42, Spanish Fork 7. It's high school football at Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Start of the fourth quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst, as it's a 42-7 lead for Wasatch on top of Spanish Fork right here in this one.
It's like Provo's tightened up that game against Springville as it's 28-22 now. Or excuse me, Springville, yeah, it's 22, Provo's 28, and Provo had a 21-0 lead earlier.
Early in that one there on the Region 8 scoreboard. Maple Mountain.
They're up 24-0 on pace is what I'm showing.
Here's a give up the middle, and that's going to be the backup back, Sammy Haywood, a senior, getting the carry up the middle. So the night for Zach Thacker might be limited here the rest of the way as Sammy Haywood gets the call up the middle on first down.
And we got another penalty here as this has just turned into a yellow hanky fest.
And what I'm trying to actually look and see.
What is that on the field? I guess it's not a penalty.
Here's a pitch outside, cutting up through the middle. It's Haywood spinning into the middle. And Sammy Haywood's down to about the 10-yard line, so he'll pick up about 9 or so there. And that's going to bring up third down.
And we do have a penalty, and we'll see what this one is.
Brendan Cabrero's getting in there on the stop for Spanish Fork. And this is a hold against Wasatch. Looking to see if Wasatch still has the majority of that starting offensive line. And so I don't know if the line maybe just starting to get a little tired and maybe just playing a little undisciplined or what the situation may be. But
a lot of those guys play both ways, so it's interesting to see if that's exactly what's happening.
Right here, 2nd down and 20, 11:06 to go here in the fourth quarter. Here's the give up the middle. It's Haywood again. He cuts up in the middle, and he's going to get a few yards back. He's down to about the 18-yard line.
So that'll make it a more manageable third down-ish. Third and long, though, once again for Wasatch.
And it will be Haywood on the call. He's inside the 10. He has a lot of it back right there. And it's going to bring up 4th down and probably about 4 or so in that kind of 4th and 4, 4th and 5 range. A very manageable 4th down coming here for Wasatch.
Definitely in field goal range, and it looks like they might want to work on that, and they're going to bring some new guys in here to take a field goal attempt.
We'll see who's going to do the kicking. It looks like it's Ammon Tuttle, number 10, on for the field goal. This is just really a couple yards longer than an extra point.
Yeah, and it's a 23-yard attempt here.
Just off the left hash. Snap good, hold good. Kick looks good from here, and it's through the uprights. So with 9:53 to play in the fourth quarter, it's a 45-7 lead for Wasatch.
And that's, good. I mean, when you've got this lead, you might as well try and attempt a field goal and give some confidence for your kicker, who's already made 6 PATs. Now he's got 9 points in this ball game as that field goal goes in.
It's kind of crazy if you look at the overall stats for teams, who the leading scorers on teams usually is. It's usually not a receiver or something like that. It's oftentimes the kicker.
Yes, because they score after every touchdown about.
Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible tonight.
We got the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter Attorneys at Law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. We'd like to thank these sponsors for making this possible, and also making this whole season possible, not just tonight's game.
Updated score from that Maple Mountain Payson game. The Lions have scored. It's 24-2.
Oh, the old safety to prevent the shutout.
1st down and 10. They'll get ready to kick it away from the 40. It will be Tyler Cook to kick it away. Back deep for the Dons.
Curious to see who's higher in this RPI, Maple Mountain or Spanish Fork. Maple Mountain will have a 3-2 record, but somewhat of an easier schedule.
And that one will go to the end zone. Both of them have played a 6A team. Both of them have played a 4A team, if I remember correctly as well.
Yeah.
The tough thing for Spanish Fork is going to be that overtime loss to Cedar City that they had in week 1 is really going to come back to hurt them in the RPI. They'll get a little bit of a bump with the win over Cypress. But it will be really interesting to see what happens here with 9:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Caden Holt into quarterback. He'll try to take it up the middle, and he will. There's a penalty flag that comes in as Holt's tackled at the 30. He'll be pretty close to a 1st down right here.
A nice hard run as Holt elects to keep it and get to the outside and lowers that head and gets a couple extra more yards.
We're going to have a face mask against Wasatch, so that will tack on 15 to the end of the run. The 6'3 senior quarterback. We've seen Caden Holt for one other series tonight, and he'll come in right here trying to see if he can get a score on the board here on homecoming week at Spanish Fork. 4 wide receivers. Holt back to throw with some time, stepping up, rolling away. Pressure comes, hit as he throws.
Almost.
The ball comes loose, and they're going to say, it looks like they're going to say he was down before the ball came loose. But still, he's going to lose about 12, 13 yards. There's 2 penalty flags, though, back kind of in the middle of the field, back around the 40-yard line or so.
One of them, I think, has got to be on the offense for holding or something, because it came early on. Of course, Wasatch is moving back.
Part of me wonders if you might see some offsetting penalties. They kind of appear like they're looking in both directions. As you see our officials have a conversation here. Blocking the bat, or
legal hands to the face.
Oh yeah, legal hands to the face there.
So that'll get a first down, and really the one time that Spanish Fork did score on this drive, it was aided by a couple of big Wasatch penalties. Not in this drive, in this game.
It'll be first down and 10 coming up here for Spanish Fork. The Dons trying to see what they can do right here with 8:26 to go in this one. Holt will pull it, gets it off. Here's Jace Gunter on the catch. And Gunter's going to get a couple of yards before being escorted out of bounds. And that brings up second down and about 8.
It was brought down by Kobe McPhee, and he's having himself a great ball game. And this Wasatch defense is going to cost some teams some problems this season in Region 8.
Bring up second down and about 10. The offensive lines are going to have to play really well against them, and I think you're going to have a downfield passing attack. I'm trying to think of the team in Region 8. Provo might be the team that can do that, that can throw downfield. Back to throw, pump fakes. Caden Holt wants to take a shot now, pulls it down. Holt steps up into the middle, and he'll go down around the 35-yard line right there. So gets back to maybe the line of scrimmage right there to bring up third down and 10.
Yeah, great job by Holt just to get to the line of scrimmage, as he looked like a matador just moving the bulls around before one finally got him.
And one of the things that we've seen with both Caden Holt and Zach Dart is downfield, Wasatch has done a good job in that one-on-one coverage. There hasn't been a lot of time for them to throw. When there has been, Wasatch really has covered those receivers downfield.
Yeah, they have.
Third down and 10, under 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Bad snap, ball's loose, and I think Wasatch got on it. We'll see here, and it will be Wasatch football. That one, just the snap, and kind of, I think, went off Caden Holt's shin and just kind of kicked away.
Yeah, that was a bad snap, and Wasatch will recover the fumble there, and they lead the turnover battle 3-0. And usually when you win that battle by 3 or more, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
So 45-7 lead. Wasps will have the football right here in about, the clock's still running here. 6:16 to go here in the fourth quarter. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, when you take a look at this one in the grand scheme of things, back-to-back weeks where this Spanish Fork offense has really struggled to move the football and score points. And I think we're going to have a penalty here. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Spanish Fork. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against Wasatch. Offsetting penalties.
Yeah, it's tough sledding for the offense the last 2 weeks. They're going to have to get back on track against Cypress. It looked like they had a lot going, especially in the passing game.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 Wasatch. I'm just trying to sort the penalty out in my head.
They just offset on the Thackerson.
Thacker goes in motion. There's the reverse back. There's a penalty flag that came in, as it was, I believe, number 19 on the reverse. And we'll see what the penalty's for right here.
Happened early in the clock still moving as they sort out this penalty.
Just kind of
another penalty.
in the area of where it would come in. This is, I think, they called an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wasatch.
Sideline warning.
Or sideline warning. Here with 5 minutes to go, still sorting this one out. But for Spanish Fork, Chris, this is a big moment in your season because the last 2 weeks, now you have to go to Salem Hills, and this is really an opportunity for Spanish Fork next week in a rivalry type situation. In a rivalry situation, you have a chance to get back into it, and if you're Spanish Fork, you're going to have to try to find a way to get it done.
And I think they can do it with the passing game. And Wasatch just keeps moving back.
And that one there was a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wasatch. I don't know if it kind of appeared it may have come from the sidelines from the coaches, but I don't know that for sure. The official just was standing there and threw the penalty flag.
I don't know. I've seen about 7 penalties thrown up.
So it's going to move Wasatch back 15 yards. So should put it pretty close to midfield. The explanation there in the kind of the bottom right corner of your screen being given, I think, to Preston Parrish right there. And Spanish Fork, I think, is going to decline one of them. Right here.
See how far they march this back.
Going to mark it probably right around the 50 or so. 15 yards from the 35. Puts it back at the 50 here with 4:26 to go here in the fourth quarter. Now the clock will continue to run here at Spanish Fork High School on homecoming. Chris, do you have a favorite memory of homecoming? Of the week, maybe?
Mud volleyball when I was a sophomore. I guess that was pretty fun. Outside of that's actually the only thing that comes to my mind at this time.
I asked the question, and I was waiting for you to say, Ryan, how about yours? And I'm like, boy, I'm trying to remember. I think we played at homecoming one year. We played the rival high school. We won by a pretty good amount.
Oh,
I think that was a good memory.
I remember 2 out of the 3 years we played Payson, and I think there was a reason behind that.
Here's a give up the middle. It's Haywood. He's going to get back close to the original line of scrimmage, down to about the 30 or 35-yard line. And, in fact, no, they're going to rule it down to about the 33, so it's going to get about 15 yards back to bring up third down.
Third and about 10 here for Wasatch, and really this clock's running. This one's going to be over here about 4 or 5 minutes in real time, about 3 minutes in clock time. So a great, impressive win for Wasatch. I guess Spanish Fork's really going to have to watch this game film and figure out what's our offensive identity and how can we learn how to stop the run.
Third down and 10. 3 wide receivers coming on. Are on the field right now for Wasatch. Haywood, the single back, gets the call. Up the middle, and Haywood down to about the 30. And that's really the question, Chris, that it's going to come down to is offensive identity, because you're to the point of the season where really kind of, in some ways, how to beat Spanish Fork is kind of out there for everyone. Run the ball, and then, really Provo, that's what both Provo and Wasatch has done. They really ran the football and really just kind of then allowed the passing game to make some key plays.
Yeah, and then on defense, you just really key on the passing game. And so, I imagine it's going to be tough to beat teams like Springville and Salem that should be able to run the ball as well.
4th down and 5 coming up here. Wasatch going to keep the offense on the field. Here's Haywood trying to get the corner. He's going to be close. I don't know if he has it or not. He might have been about a yard short of the marker.
Wasatch's coach runs down there on your screen and hits the line there, and they're giving him the first down.
Wasatch, I think, really only has to snap it a couple more times here with the new 40-second play clock.
That, and I believe they could they probably could just nil it.
Clock will run here, 1:50 and under. as we get set and ready to go. Next week, another fun one here on Spanish Fork 17. We hit the road and go down to Salem for Spanish Fork and Salem Hills. That one should be a fun one. That should be fun to kind of see what happens next week. That game against Salem, probably a key one, Chris, in the Spanish Fork season. It's really to finish probably to get a home game in the playoffs, even with the RPI. Chris, I think you're going to need a positive record.
Yeah, well,
potentially anyway.
Potentially. If Spanish Fork has any dreams of getting a home game, they're definitely looking at their schedule. They're going to have to beat Maple Mountain. They're going to have to probably be Payson, and then I don't know. It's some of these games. I don't think they'll be the favorite next week against Salem Hills, and so we'll have to see. Mountain Ridge, I don't know anything about them, but my guess would be Salem Hills and Springville are both road games, and those two teams would be favored over Spanish Fork. So, but this is high school football. Crazier things can happen. Maybe Spanish Fork regroups and is able to put up a tough matchup against Salem Hills and come out with a victory next week.
And we'll see what happens right here to kind of finish this one up. For Wasatch, this is one of those wins where if you're the Wasps, you kind of have certain games circled on your calendar, and Wasatch will call a timeout right here. But you talk about knowing you have to play Salem Hills, Springville, and Provo still. Wasatch knows they have certain games on their schedule that really kind of become a silent must-win. Kind of some of those maybe swing games going in. And for Wasatch, this is a big kind of almost a statement-type win tonight.
It is, and the score really surprises me. I'm not shocked that Wasatch wins this game, but 45-7, and the way they dominated the line of scrimmage, they looked better than Provo doing it. Now I know it's a different night and different matchups and stuff like that, but who knows? It should be an interesting battle for the Region 8 title this season. I imagine there might be 4 teams that get a home game at the first of the season.
Wasatch takes a knee right there. Probably one more snap, and this one will be over. And that's one thing, Chris, that you talk about. Instead of having the opportunity where only 2 teams get a home game and 2 go on the road like we've seen in the past, now if you're those teams, you're saying, hey, there's still a lot to play for because we could still find a way to get a home game.
Yeah, and 6 teams get a first-round bye, so you're really shooting for that. So we'll see.
6 first-round byes and 4 regions in the 5A classification. There's the second knee, and now I'm pretty sure that clock will just now have to run off. The teams will start shaking hands here, and this one will come to an end. Wasatch defeating Spanish Fork tonight by a score of 45-7. We'll take a short break after this ball game. We'll wrap this one up. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game, and we'll preview next week's matchup with Salem Hills. This is high school football, Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, this one's gone final here by a final of 45-7. Wasatch over Spanish Fork right here. There we go. As the Wasps come in and spoil homecoming for the Spanish Fork Dons right here. The Dons will try to finish up homecoming in a good way and get ready to go for next week's opponent with Salem Hills. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, when you really break this one down, Wasatch dominated the running game from the start and really to the finish, but their big plays for Wasatch tonight didn't come through the run. It was the run that set up that play-action pass.
Yeah, Quinton had himself a great game as he accounted for 5 touchdowns, including some of these that came from all sorts of runs, as it's just pretty loud here, Ryan, with all these amazing fireworks we got.
A really good firework display that you see going on right there. For Spanish Fork, we saw for the second straight week, the Dons just weren't able to put much of the offense together and really kind of piece together a lot of drives tonight and really just kind of struggled all together. A couple of costly turnovers again as well that really set Wasatch up early and often.
Yeah, I think the key was Wasatch really was pushing Spanish Fork on those 3 and outs or turning the ball over early, get that big lead, and Spanish Fork wasn't able to recover. At least last week against Provo, you felt at times that they were competing. Tonight, it just felt like it was Wasatch for all 48 minutes of this ball game.
And the tough part is you have to kind of think that over time, when things didn't go too well last week and then this week all of a sudden things start not going your way, it's hard mentally sometimes to work yourself through that.
Yeah, it is. But you know what the good news is? Go to sleep tonight. Tomorrow's a new day. Next week they've got a game against Salem, something to look forward to. Young team with a lot of sophomores. So there's a lot of ways that they can build on this season for even possibly next season. But for the seniors, you want to get those guys a couple more wins.
Our MVP Sports MVP of the game goes to Tayson Reed tonight. Had the 2-yard touchdown run and had a couple other moments, especially on the deep side of the ball, Chris, where he got there quickly, make some nice stops. Really an all-around good game for Tayson Reed. Not going to show up necessarily in the scoreboard kind of thing, but a good overall game for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He did well with that, and that 2-yard run was the only 6 points that Spanish Fork had tonight.
So next week we got Spanish Fork at Salem Hills, which should be a good one. The Skyhawks, having a lot of things go their way, might be one of the better teams we've seen Salem Hills have, at least within the last 3 or 4 seasons. A great opportunity tonight, or next week, for Spanish Fork to maybe play to pull an upset on the road.
Yeah, and Salem, I think, will go into that game 5-0 or 4-1. We'll have to see if we can get a score on that. But either way, that's been a team that's been playing well this season.
It'll be interesting to see the keys. What does Spanish Fork have to really, Chris, in your mind, work on this week heading into that game?
I think they need to settle on who their quarterback's going to be, and maybe they've already done that. But at the same time, I think you got to see if you can figure out a way to run the ball. With that said, I think they've been a little bit predictable in running on first down every time. So maybe possibly try and play action next week to open that game up, but definitely establishing the offensive identity, and then they've got to figure out how to.
It'll be a good one next Friday night, a 7 p.m. kick from Salem Hills High School, where we'll have that one there. It should be a fun one, and we will get ready here to say so long tonight from Spanish Fork. It's a 45-7 win for Wasatch. The Dons will look to recover next Friday night against Salem Hills right here on Spanish Fork 17. Have a safe weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next Friday night for more high school football on Spanish Fork 17.